individuals? Yes. Let's see. So who's going? Yay. Okay, so this is Group C. So it's Joe, Drake, Anish, Aaron, Raina, and Yi. So 6 folks today. And as I've been doing with everybody, it's kind of choose your own adventure. It seems like most people just want to take their crack at going all the way through it. But if you want to say, hey, I'd like to start at the B section, go for it. All right? It's really your time. Okay, who would like to go first?
I'll go.
Anish! Great! Okay, thank you.
Or actually with, you're not going to, it's...
Well, it's going to take too long to get the cello out and all that. So,
I can play this part and then go that part B.
yeah, that's great. Thank you. All right, what's your pleasure, Anish?
I'd like to just go through it.
Okay, sounds good. Please excuse me, I'm going to put on a timer so I stay honest. Okay. Now, Maestro, you have 9 minutes.
Okay.
What would you like to do? You could do a little rehearsing. I'm interested in what you heard and how that conforms to your vision of this.
Okay, well at B I was going way too slow. I was a lot slower than I needed to go.
Okay.
So I'd like to reverse B just to get more comfortable with that.
All right, so do you want to start right there?
Yeah, start right at B.
Okay. And I may or may not stop you along the way.
Okay.
All right, good. Was that more in line with what you want to do tempo-wise?
Yes, and I also just felt more comfortable doing the 12/8 as well.
Yeah, well, why don't you do it again? And something I'd like to do is maybe minimize just a bit so there's a little more focus in this section. purposes. And then sometimes you're with them because you're allowing them to kind of catch up to you, and you're slowing down in response to what you're hearing. So when do you perceive that you're doing that the most?
I think especially the 6/8, I'm starting to kind of like try to listen and subdivide, but it's like weird because I am like counting it faster, but it's coming back at me slower. It's kind of like.
So could you do this for me? Drop the baton for a second or put it down on your stand. And could you sing, and we could all do this as a matter of fact, this group practice. Could you sing and snap starting at the 6/8? Ready? Let's just get it going. 1 and the 2, here we go, and good. Let's do it again. 1, 2, ready, and go. So when I watch, it's almost like your hand is a little late to the beat, interestingly enough. So a little snappier snap. Let's try it again. 2, ready, go. All right, good. Let's see if we can do that with baton. But the same kind of snap, even though it's piano, it still has energy. It's just really quiet energy. See if you can get that snap out to the tip of your baton. Yeah, start right at the 6/8, just with Jing Ping and Han. So your prep has to be snappier, like snap. It's a little late still because you're hearing and responding to her and you're slowing down as a result. So see if you can just keep it moving.
Okay.
I might snap a little bit behind you. And that's a rhythm that we'll want to pull back anyway. So we have to realize, okay, we're going to have to push this ahead now without me snapping behind you so much. All right, good. Do you feel more comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, could you start us at 5 and make this different? And then make this different again. You know what I'm getting at?
Okay.
Maybe, maybe not?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
This is 5, right on. So, what's different here?
This is much pulled back, not as loud.
Right. I mean, he's stripped the instrumentation. We have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, so half the instruments playing at a much softer dynamic, right? So, what can you do to set that up?
Minimize the size, just do less.
And even before, right? So you're going along D, 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 da, 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 D, da, da, D, D, D. And then, coming out of it, you have to give them a big prep, even though they're still playing piano. Lum, bum, bum, beep, bum, 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 so that they can respond. Because they want to play what they see. Okay, try it again. Minimize is good. articulation at this spot and when it returns here different from here? How?
The second section is a little bit longer and has more length to it.
So and this happens, as you know, if Jinping asked you, Maestro, what kind of articulation should I be using there? You would tell her, no, here.
Oh,
So you would give her maybe a syllable like,
or
do you want, or here's the thing, what syllable are you using? All right, so she's using a softer, do you like that? Or you could say maybe, I would say, I would want it more connected.
Okay.
All right, can you conduct in 4/4 and say, but in time. That's a little busy, right? Now, ta, 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 ta. So at 5, you're thinking ta, 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 right? Some weight, and then all right? Let's see if you can do it. 5, ta. You're going after some stylistic difference. That's where you need to go. Your arm's really busy. I think you can do much more just with wrist and fingers, especially on there's a lot to be done with this baton. And part of why we use this, remember, is to magnify, so that we don't have to work so hard at making this thing go. But if the wrist isn't moving and the fingers aren't pliable enough, then we have no choice but to use our arm in order to get that point to move. Could you just do the beginning for us? This is the first 4 bars. I've got 19 seconds. We can fix this. So this is what we're working with Amy on, and a couple of others. If I had to describe your conducting right now, and there are many, many, many nice things going on, but it's a little noodly. Like, it's a little, needs a little more al dente. It's a little overcooked. It's just like, and pliability in your body is great. Flexibility is great. But this is a spot that's got to be a little more angular and a little more muscular and have a little bit of firmness to it, rather than kind of. Right. We're going to experiment. Just one note, okay? But you're kind of, it's late breaking news when you get here. You've got to show them this is the articulation. Right there. It's not when it happens, it's before it happens. Better. Now move through space with good intention so that they return and give you that sound. Now you're getting some different sounds from them. And I would say a more resonant sound too. Let's experiment a little bit. So we could do this. We could do this. All kinds of different effects without abusing them so much, based on what we're showing with how we move away from the ictus and then the energy going back to the ictus. Okay? So let's see if you can get what you want at the beginning, and then we gotta stop. Great. Not great, actually. So, look. Right? This magnificent thing is about to begin. Not this magnificent thing is about to begin.
Okay.
And how does the note land?
Very weighty.
Yeah, your hands, when they come down, they do this.
Yeah.
So it's like, a water balloon. Just all over the place. Rather than boom, boom,
Okay.
boom. All right? I don't know what this is. Boom. Like a boulder rather than water balloon.
Okay.
So I really want you to think about how the music enters out of silence. When we're thinking about the beginning of the piece, it's not, okay, how do I start the music? Or how do I get measure one to happen? It's how does this music enter out of silence? And so this is fanfare. Pom, pom, team, ba-ga-dig-a-dum, go! Up, up, up. Rather than kind of nice. This isn't nice. This is the dirt under the fingernails music. All right, good job, Anish. Thank you for allowing me to question the problem. Next. All right, great. Drake, what would you like to do with your...
I'll try to run it.
Okay, try.
I will run it.
You will. Yeah, do or do not. Right, Serena? Right.
So you can get through this, your mechanics are great, your ideas seem to be quite good. So we're going to experiment in our 10 minutes or so. First experiment, everybody. You get the first 4 bars, do it 3 different ways.
Okay.
So like do the first 4, try it, and then do something different. And I want to see what different things you come up with, what different ideas you can get from them.
Like musical ideas or like in a way that I...
Could be articulation, could be movement, could be length, could be dynamic, could be anything. Hey, what's up? Oh, I'm on. Sorry, Aaron. Let's see what you got. Do it another way. something wildly different, and then we'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, great. So tell me what that experience was for you just then.
I don't really know. I wasn't really sure what to do. The second time I tried to just give each chord,
Okay.
but I still wanted to do the two pattern.
And what did you do the last time?
I just made it more
You just kind of
saturated.
yeah. Here's what I'm trying to get you to do. You tend to have this kind of default mezzo piano kind of diffuse setup, and I wanted to try to get you to do some different physical things to maybe break that like right away. You know what I mean? If I'm Drake and I'm about to get us ready, it's something like this. You know what I mean? And so I want you to think about this beginning. What kind of character and what kind of mood does it have in such a way that maybe that draws you to do something different than,
Yeah.
here we go, we're ready. You know what I mean? Can you try it again with that in mind? And think, don't do something silly for like, the experiment we just did, but what do you really want to get from them? And how can you enter right away to say, this is what I want to do? Let's see what that does for you. Sorry. I'm going to keep picking at this because you're kind of, the busy stuff, the allegro stuff is fine. I want to help this. So, was that dynamically what you wanted?
I think so, but I think the attack would be better.
Excellent, I agree with you. And what about the attack do you want to change?
More precise and also, I
So,
feel like people are kind of like unsure based on what I'm giving.
give them one, ladies and gentlemen, she's going to give you one note, and then I want you to tell her what'll make it more precise for you as a player. One note. What would make you play that attack better?
Steady your time on the way down.
Okay?
So that
Okay.
it slows down, I think.
Oh, I see.
Perfect. And that's tied into like the floppy bits.
Okay.
Right? Okay, there's a couple more things that can help. Anybody? Yeah.
I think just maybe waiting like a split second longer, just to make sure like everybody's.
Before I give.
Yeah, before
okay.
you
Okay.
start, yeah.
One more.
Like style is to come up to give the prep.
Yes. So I'd like you to, let's face each other, and go ahead and put it right in the middle of your body, like this. Not quite like this, more like this, right? So your arm is still rounded. Because generally, unisons, octave, and consonant intervals are better when they're right here than everybody right here. If you're about to play a unison, and we've got this is going to end up in kind of a spread sound, both tone-wise and intonation-wise. And so I want you to come right here, and I want you to say, tick, tick, boom. Tick, tick, boom. Right, and really hit it. Up,
Tick, tick, boom.
right? And give it a little spring as you come off of it. Something like, ready, tick, tick, boom, right? And not like this. See what I'm doing with my
Yeah,
wrist?
yeah,
But
yeah.
give it some, like, there's a little mattress spring, and I'm gonna go, boing. How about, boing, boom, boing,
Boing.
boom, right? And do it with this, not with this. Ready? Boing,
Boing,
boom. Kind of, hit it a little bit centered, and bounce a little bit snappier, like, boom, boom. Right.
Boing, boom.
Kind of, and maybe take up a little bit more room and a little bit more fortissimo.
Boing, boom.
Try it. One note. And so that was a little bit jerky, but their attack was a little bit better. So if it's less jerky, it'll be more resonant, but the front, I think, was closer to what you wanted. So in other words, take up more room and be more predictable. Flat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Flat, yeah. Thoughts? Quick ones? Yeah.
I heard where the breath told me to play was different from where your hand told me to play. You went, and then I saw
Oh, I see.
after.
Let's keep picking at this. I think you're onto something, and I really think that we can take care of this, right? So I want you to think, maybe even breathe with them. Like breathe with Aaron. You're gonna go. Try that. Go. Do that. Do that.
With them or just by myself? Okay.
Did you feel the delay though? The kind of like.
Yeah. I don't know how to. Okay.
Breathe, Micah. Ready? Let's do it together, please. One note. Ready? Do you feel that
Yeah.
difference? That still is not great because we're working together on it.
Yeah.
But that's much, much better than this, right?
Okay, yeah.
Where they're just kind of giving it to you because they're good musicians and they know what the style is. Does this give you some ideas on the beginning? Let's go and we'll go a little bit more.
Okay.
And you can kind of reflect on this.
Can I make sure we have time to do the B
Totally.
transition that I,
Totally, yeah.
so should I go from 5 or from the B?
Just go from the beginning and we'll just kind of get there. Since we won't work on this A section, what I'd like you to think of is still having rebound to everything, even when it's a tiny gesture, and not just dead, dead. Sometimes in this kind of multimeter-y stuff, you kind of plot down onto one. So just kind of think about that as you go. Yeah. I promise I'll let you get there,
Okay.
but let's do this really quickly.
Yeah.
On all the 4 fours, they don't need a ton of input.
Yeah.
Because your time is good and their time is pretty good, they don't need.
Yeah.
What they,
I was trying not to be a quadrant conductor.
and that's much better. But in an effort to do that, I know it's like
Yeah.
you're hearing it from both
Yeah.
sides, right? That's excellent in that regard from getting it centered and the energy to the tip. But that doesn't mean you gotta,
Okay,
right? Because it's not that hard.
yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go from A, we'll get you into the B, because we've only got like a minute. Real tight, small, 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 spring, and small, 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 spring. Right, good, keep it up, you're doing great. Great, so let's use that. Oh, I wish we had like all the time in the world because there's so many good things that you're doing. I would say in passing, I saw you try to do a little legato
Yeah.
stuff on kind of the change in character. We won't really have time to go back and do it, but I would suggest is when you want to do that, make a drastic change before you're going to do it so it alerts them that something's going to happen. And that could be, you're cooking along and then suddenly, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like really quiet yourself immediately before, or the opposite, get their attention so that they know that something's about to come. Because I saw you trying to do it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they really bought it.
Okay.
So I think you can make that more effective. Since you wanted to do this B section, what are a couple things that you want to target in like the minute that we have?
Well, I feel like it starts out and it feels comfortable, and then it starts to feel slow, and I don't really know what to do about it.
So the trick is that you have to lead enough that you're dragging them through it, but not enough so that you lose them. Right? It's like Dr. Vondra was saying the other day, there's got to be tension or tautness in that string as you're pulling them, because if it slackens, that's where you fall into this trap of, and you felt it.
Yeah.
Those like big compound slow meters that you're like, I don't really know
I
where
don't know
this is
what
going.
yeah.
So stay enough ahead and be predictably ahead until you want to slow down and then dictate.
Okay.
But the answer is lead. You got to lead through it. You want to try it right on that B section? How did that feel?
Better.
Was that better for you? Can we try one thing? I would not advocate this for real, but conduct and sing while they play. And what I'd like you to do is follow and lead yourself.
Should I sing her line?
Sing whatever you want, but I want you to audiate externally that image of what you want, and then I want to see how that lines up with your movement idea. Does that make sense to you? So almost ignore them. Just you sing you, and they're going to follow you.
Okay.
It's okay. So what's interesting is that you were waiting on yourself, right? I was asking you to, for right now, ignore them.
Okay.
So what I'd like you to think is this is so clear of intention of what you want to do that they have no choice but to do so.
I'm kind of waiting for them, yeah.
Don't wait. For this experiment, don't wait. I'm asking you not to. Can you try that again? Do exactly what you want to do and conduct you. It's okay.
It's hard.
But what you're feeling right now is, do you feel the tautness of that string? You're ahead of them and you're conducting you, but it takes a little bit of time for them to catch up, right? For the thing to be pulled. So now the trick is to do it here without you singing it, but with such clear of intent of what you wanted that they have no choice but to be pulled
Yeah.
along. Let's try one more time and then we gotta stop.
Without singing?
You do you, don't sing.
Okay.
I want you to think that in your head, though, that you are leading, that you are pulling.
Sorry, should I read? So I give the downbeat and then,
I gotta tell you, I think what you did the very first time, like 10 minutes ago, worked great.
Okay.
Because what you did is you just kind of came to a stop and let her finish, and then you reinitiated too. And I think that was an excellent solution. So rather than try to dictate, ba-da-da-da-dum, bum, 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 because that's a little heavy-handed, bum, bum, beam, you know, and then you just kind of stop and then reinitiate. I think that works out well. Drake, does this give you some good ideas? You've made excellent progress. Thank you. Raina.
Raina, would you like to go from start to finish? Okay. Sounds good. Everybody get up and wiggle just for a second, just so you're not having to sit down for 2 hours. Yep. Stretch. Oh, boy.
I was just doing what Joe was doing.
Okay.
I'll let you like I do my gymnastics.
What's that? Oh.
I'm a gymnastics coach and like the
Are you
basic.
really? I bet you're great at it. Yeah?
The kids like so.
Where'd you get in trouble?
The transition, like this middle transition, the B section.
and right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened there? Do you know what you did?
Yeah, I didn't show anyone at all. And
And you got stuck,
yeah.
and you knew it. And I've been there. I'm older and wiser, but I've been there. Like, dot, 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 dee, dot, dot, oh boy, what do I do now? And then you had to make something up, and she knew that you were in trouble, and,
Yeah.
okay. What I liked is, there were a couple like little hiccups here and there, but you got through it. And as I mentioned, part of this is, can you manage your own mistakes? And I thought you did well to do that. Let's get a little feedback from your colleagues, because they haven't had a chance to respond too much. So what are you getting from Raina that you like, that's really helpful for you, productive for you? Well, as always, nobody has any. Yes.
Time and clarity, I think, are really good.
And if I had to focus on what some of the strengths of your conducting is, I would say you are clear, your time is good, I think you're economical for the most part. So that's a strength, so that's good. What else? Yeah.
I thought it had like a good lightness to it. From the corner of the eye, it's got enough bounce that I don't need to exactly look at you, but I know what you do.
Right, you were enough in his field of vision that he can focus on his job, she can focus on her job, she can focus on her job, but they don't have to be constantly worried about what we're doing. No player wants to worry. Anything else? Worry for the wrong reasons, yeah.
I think that you're very engaged and have good energy.
Yeah, and we've talked about that, right? If you were me, standing here, talking to Raina, would you say to her? As far as constructive. Yes?
In the transitions, things seem to flow, so keep your tempo going, even if it slows down again. It should never stop motion. So, stuff like that.
Yeah, so we would work on transitions, absolutely. Having a good plan to get into and out of things. Yeah.
I think the style and character at the beginning could have been a little bit better in terms of like different from like the A section.
Okay. I would also ask this question. This is a good question for you and for everybody, really. When the A section is going, it's very fast. How far ahead is your brain? Do you perceive?
Yeah, I think I'm like half a bar, like about half a bar, like for like not counting like
A couple beats ahead?
a couple beats ahead. So
Uh-huh.
that way, like I'm not caught off guard when like the pattern changes.
And this is, faster music is obviously more difficult to think ahead because things are coming at you at a greater rate of speed. And with faster music that has a lot of these meter changes and it's got some complexity to it, it's difficult to try to get ahead. But when 5 starts, I shouldn't step on the podium, you're on it. Only one maestro at a time, right? Okay, so when 5 starts and it's going along, what are you thinking about that's coming up next?
I don't know. It's like a mixture of thinking about the constant 8-note pulse, like the da-da-da.
But in a broader sense, like, okay, so here's 5. Here's this point of interest. Where's the next point of interest?
I don't know. Probably where the text.
Exactly. Okay, so it's this. And so now we've got to worry about how do I get from this point to this point? And a lot of that's on the ensemble. We talk a lot about, I'm interested in what happens here, and I'm interested in what happens here. What happens in between is on the ensemble quite a bit. Now, it's our job to guide that journey from this point to this point. But it's, okay, when do I start thinking about this? And what I want is that you're thinking about this sooner.
Okay.
Yeah, like about halfway. So Larry Radcliffe does this thing, and I've mentioned a couple times, with his students in the Brahms. And it's like a verbal exercise where they don't use their hands, but they have to, like, say cellos. and it has to be well before the cellos actually come in, or trumpet melody. And then and it's how far ahead can they be thinking and preparing for that moment, okay? So it's a mental exercise more than anything. But the thing that he says is fast brain, fast music. Or fast music, fast brain. So we've got to get our brains to go a little faster. So be thinking about how this is coming up, maybe not here, but maybe here.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah,
And
I
how you can prepare that. Okay? And then you're just guiding them from, okay, here's this point of interest, here's this point of interest, and the next one would be,
Yeah.
right? So phrases. Yeah, let's start right at 5. And then we are going to talk about the beginning a little bit.
Yeah.
There's self-reflection in that.
Sorry.
We're starting at 5. However,
I was like,
you did that wonderful thing that you do.
yeah.
All right? So be in that character before you even start moving. This is one of the things we love about you, but it's one of the things that we probably want to, because if you do it all the time, then people are going to start picking up on it, and then they're going to be weirded out. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, how can I activate that energy before I even move? And right now, I think you use that energy in order to move, if that makes sense. So I want you to do something for me. I want you to wind up. And we're going to give them, this is like the first time I've ever will say this. You get 4 preps. Okay? Yeah, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, a wind up. Okay? But I want you to increase the energy until you get to 5. And then they're just going to play a downbeat for you. That's it. Okay? So remember, I think it was Daniel, and I forget who he was working with, or it was, I think it was Serena. Right? It's kind of like that, but not audibleized, obviously. But if I did do it, it would be So I'm trying to get that energy flowing, and we're going to do it just with 4 beats, and then we're going to take out some beats. Okay? You don't have to scream.
I wasn't going to.
Okay.
That was bad.
It's difficult.
It's hard.
Yeah, because what you're doing is what I do before I give 1 beat, whether it's slow music or fast music. I'm going. So I want you to feel that so that it's not off, like a toggle switch. Off, on,
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you're going to get herky-jerky. This is a slider, not a toggle.
Okay.
Right? Try it again.
With 4?
Yep, with the 4. Energy, energy, energy. Okay. Now, can you think 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. So you're thinking the energy the entire time. It's there, and now you're just accepting it and giving it.
Okay.
That's better. That's better. It's still a little on switch, off switch, right? It's like off, on. Slider. Okay. So this is a thing, right? It's a thing that I want you to be conscious of and just accept that, hey, this is a little thing that I do, and we all have our things. Let's talk about the beginning.
I was trying to have it be like weighty.
Let's go.
But
Yeah.
it didn't work very well.
Let's do waiting. All right, so. So let them talk to you. Yeah.
That was really methodical.
Yeah, it's like, right? Now. what you're trying to do. It's like tension, but it's got to be tension in time. So you get to go tick-tock for us. Tick-tock.
Tick tock.
Oh, interesting.
Wait.
Tick-tock,
Oh.
go.
Oh, sorry.
Tick-tock-tock, or whatever you want.
Tick tock tock.
Your hands are still a little late coming out of the tock. Tick-tock, two. Tick-tock, two.
Tick tock two.
Tick-tock, two. Different? Yeah.
Tick tock two.
Ah, now we're getting somewhere, right? Now you want some weight. So what do you want this note to look like? Because people might ask you, hey, what note shape should this be? Is this a note shape that's got a lot of front to it and then it decays? Is it sustained?
It's like I wanted to have an attack if there's an accent, but
Mhm.
not like.
Shouldn't be a bell tone,
Yeah.
right? So we have to keep our hands in the sound. When we retreat, they'll retreat too. Don't play fortissimo, but play what you see. You hear how they want to die away, but if we keep our hands in the sound, we get that, okay? And then you can start to work on weight by increasing the amount of resistance in your upbeat. But right now, we just want to make sure it's in time. All right? Give it a go. Did you subdivide in your head? You did? All right. I was subdividing what you gave us, and it seemed a little bit out of time still. There's like an extra 16th note in there.
Yeah.
Tick, tock, tock. Go ahead and say it. They'll play.
Tick tock.
See, when you verbalize it and have it external rather than kind of stuck up here, it forces you to have your hands move in time. So I would say go ahead and say it a couple times as just a practice, and then we're going to take it out. So
Okay.
just a couple times doing this.
Tick tock.
Once more.
Tick tock. Now
Now
I
you're
feel like I'm subdividing like in my pattern.
I might have gotten a little bit of that the second time, but it's not as apparent as you might think it is. All right, now let's internalize it. Yeah, it's much better, much better. So if the idea is so strong up here, your hands have no choice but to obey, okay? Your hands are slaves to your head and your heart. So if that's going on and so strong, then they will obey. Okay? Keep going this time.
Oh, sorry, I meant to go out like that way, and I just meant.
So what are you trying to do here?
So like da 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 da, and sort of like stop here and then out. Da.
Yes.
But I just am confused.
D,
directions with out.
So if it were me, and it is not, I would do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to like.
And maybe, if you wanted, if you felt like you had to give a little space for those 3 notes, just allow enough. Lump, bump, bumpy, bump, bump. Just enough where they can fit those notes in. You want to try that? Why don't you start at 32? D, 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 bump, bump, bumpy, bump, bump.
Thank you.
dee-da-da-dee-da-da-dee-da-da, and just stick that last one so that you don't get stuck in an awkward position. Okay? Good job, Brandon. That's going to be quite nice. Thank you. All right, next. Joe's up for now.
Sir.
Joe, I suspect you want to go from start to finish.
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh.
Yay, Joe! Joe, we giggled a little bit over here, and I think you'll be a good sport about it. What were we talking about in the band office that one day?
Oh, not in the first of summer.
Yeah. Did anybody notice that when the groove got locked in, that Joe tends to do the same thing right here? I didn't know you were a good sport about it, so I just wanted to draw your attention to that. What I'd like to see you do is get a lot of things much more focused.
Okay.
And by focused, I mean in front of you, smaller, less army, and more wristy. And I think that's going to do two things. Thing one is that'll help you not get turned around if you can see the difference between the big beats and the small beats. And thing two, and I think it'll help them feel more comfortable about how this is flowing along, such that the transitions will be a little bit better. I want to forego the beginning, but we'll come back to it, I think. And let's go ahead and start at A.
Okay.
And what I'd like you to do is super exaggerate the duple versus compound beats. Something like this. Bing, 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 bum, bing, bum, bing, 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 bum, bing, bing, bum, bum, bing. Can you try that and see how that goes for you?
Yeah.
We'll figure out where the heck I'm going here.
I think started too big.
Yeah, I think your bigs and your smalls are too much the same.
Okay.
Let's try super small smalls, super big bigs.
Sounds good.
Maybe get them started at fortissimo, but then settle.
Okay.
At this point, I think I want to do this just to see if we can get it to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's okay, but I want us to kind of focus on this. Let's do it together. This is the size of your 4/4. Oh, I'll hear you. Hear it. Rush a little bit. So that's what you got for 4/4. Okay. Here's your 3/8. Let's try it from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. Try it. Yeah, does that feel a little bit different though?
Absolutely.
And now, the fact that we're doing such a small size is influencing their dynamic and front of notes a little bit, but I like the clarity that that's getting from you. And I think that if we can re-infuse the energy that you had by size of pattern into this focused energy, I think that's going to work out a whole lot better for us.
Sure.
Let's do it again. We'll do the same thing. And when you give that first attack, I'd like you to think about it coming from the spring, like we were talking about with Drake,
Yeah.
and not from the wind up of your arm. So just think it's boom, boom,
Boom.
right.
Boom.
Now do it the bad way, which is like this. Right, yeah, so you're like an octopus crawling on the wall or something, right? So it's just, try it. Well, we're still at A.
Okay.
Let's just do the one note, the first attack at A.
Okay.
And think it's all right here.
Okay.
Almost entirely. Right. Now can you give that a little bit more size for the volume that you want it to be?
Yeah.
I love what you did with your wrist and arm though.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Do that, no double prep, and go on.
Okay.
Yeah, so how is this feeling for you?
It feels a lot more stable.
I think this is interesting though, because I'm actually feeling, now that you're varying the size of your pattern according to the meter, I feel a little bit more unstable in
Okay.
terms of the progressive eighth notes. And what that leads me to think is maybe I wonder if the size of your pattern and you giving the beats is helping you to feel the beats, rather than your sense of time being so strong that it's easy to manipulate for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So how can you make your own sense of progressive eighth notes be so strong that it doesn't really matter what you do? Because I think if you can answer that question, you'll be onto something for what you can do with them. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
That kind of train of thought? Let's just try it again and see what we get out of this.
From A.
Sure. I love how you started
From
it.
5?
Or yeah, from 5, yeah.
Okay.
I love how you started it though. Yeah, okay, I think we're onto something with this one. And I'd like you to continue to experiment with this at home. I think we've got it here. But definitely do it with a metronome, and maybe even think about you saying dot-dee, 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 because I think now that we're doing different things here, it is kind of manipulating time a little bit.
Yeah.
So just kind of check it out, but I think that this is better than the generic kind of this, which is causing lots of excess motion.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's try this B section right where we left off and see what we can do with it.
Could we try him?
You want to do that right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, could you just verbalize something through the 3/8? We will only do 10 bars, starting at measure 5. But,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, or triple lit, or something. Because you're quick getting out of the 3/8. And I think if you verbalize something, you're not going to be.
Okay.
So maybe you're just thinking tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tick tock, tick tick, whatever. But verbalize it, externalize it.
Okay.
Just write a thought.
That's a whole lot better. Can we ask you to do it one more time? Start how you had been starting, you kind of reverted to this.
Oh, okay.
And, sorry to be a broken record, Big beats big, small beats small.
Right.
Right? Try it again. Yeah. This is really helping, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, I'll throw you a life preserver, right? So first off, what did you think about the A section, now that we're kind of leaving it? Did that feel better for you?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no, I think definitely it's, I think I have that tendency to rush the 3/8, so.
Yeah.
Kind of getting that, feeling it for me, like not here, but
Yeah.
inside.
Well, and the good news is by doing that last exercise, that helped eliminate some of the excess motion too.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's, manipulating your own sense of pulse. I won't put you on the spot, but maybe don't forget about this exercise,
Oh, okay.
and see if you can, try that, because that'll help your time too. What did you feel just now in that B section?
I started it too slow, and then I think I listened too much, as opposed to just driving.
So you want to try it again?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so that's tricky, right? Because it's like some other people, you have to show 3 for her 16th note to be in time with what you want the next downbeat to be.
Yeah.
Want to try again?
Sure.
So I don't know what it is, but I feel uncertain. I feel unsteady.
Okay.
It feels like at each new instant starts a little faster and then it kind of slows down. I see you're trying to subdivide. Is that what you're doing
Yeah.
up there? Just for sake of argument, can you do it more aggressively right now? Da da dee 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 da.
How I say it? Okay.
Yeah, literally just like I was just doing. And see how
Okay.
that goes for you.
Sure.
Because I'm wondering, are you intending to slow down, or is it you're listening and then you're following them? I think it's that one.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay, so this is really interesting, right? So if I'm you, I might continue to focus on the size of beat thing because that was helping the other bit, and maybe do some games with yourself of singing the accents like we were doing last week or so.
Okay.
Beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up, done. Because I think it's you're hearing them accents that's forcing you to drag back.
Okay.
Can you try that once more, still vocalizing?
Yeah, sure.
I think it helps for the first 2 or 3 bars.
Okay.
And then once the accent pattern got you, it kind of got you.
Yeah, okay.
How'd that feel?
A lot better.
That was much better, right? Let's do this one last time, and I would encourage you, if it's going well, get out of their business.
Okay.
And then, if you feel it slowing down, then you can give the energy. But if you're, they're 2 people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, how heavy-handed does it have to be, right? So you start them, but then if you're going like this, 2 things are gonna happen. They're gonna go, what's wrong, or I'm not paying attention to that, right? One of those 2 things.
Yeah.
So, you start, it's all going well. B. Oh, we're too slow. We're good now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try it. I think this will be the last time, so why don't you take it through this B section?
Okay.
time things that are starting to kind of mess with you a little bit.
Yeah.
I would encourage you in the next week to make up as many kind of creative games as you can to help that. Maybe you turn your metronome on triplets and you conduct downbeats on every 2 of the triplet, for sake of argument, to practice the accent pattern. Or maybe you do the hand thing doing quarter notes on your chest and you do this. Or maybe you work on size of pattern Elizabeth Green style, right? 1 inch, 5 inches, whatever the case may be. Anything creative so that this is no longer a hindrance for the musical things that you want to do, which is, an ongoing topic for us.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, thanks, Joe. Great work.
Then we just have Aaron. All right, Yee, what would you like to do? All the way through? Okay, great. How was it weird?
Well, I didn't prepare for the tempo for the A session, and I did not know how to prepare.
Okay, so that's something that we'll work on. Can we start at the beginning again?
Yeah.
And we're just going to stop at measure 5.
Okay.
Okay, just the beginning. And I may even stop you after 1 note, but we'll see. So, what is this telling the ensemble? So ensemble. What am I telling you? What's about to happen? Yeah. Right? Okay, so this is a point of interest for everybody. Why is this not an effective preparatory stance? What's wrong with this? Yes.
I think it kind of.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so negative. What can improve? Yes, Joe.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, like, what you can do is feel like the energy is good up until here, and then it's like it sags.
All right, so we have kind of energy here, and then it meets the wall, and then it. So we need to, if anything, if I was a sculptor, I would say, okay, we've got to firm that up a bit.
Oh, okay.
All right, because right now this doesn't say anything.
Okay.
What it's great for is Chopin. And the reason I bring this up is because I think this is the natural disposition of your hands.
Yeah.
Right? when your hands are out in front of you, they tend to be like this. This is great for the Polonaise, right, or whatever. And that's about the only piano that I can play. So a little firmer here. What else could improve? So we're gonna do this slowly. So even without this, right? So we're here. Let's just go puppy dog. All right, and then we're gonna. Now that looks better already. Just one little thing makes that look better. What else can make this even better?
Seems a little diffused.
All right. So again, great when we're getting ready to go up and down the ivories. But when we're doing this, that kind of says, I'm about to cast a spell or something, right? Because it's like if there was energy coming out of your fingertips, it would go like 10 different directions. So we want to somehow get it to be in a direction. Now, when we have the baton in our hand, obviously that takes out this, right? So we're taking out half of that. But we still have this to deal with. So we want to bring this a little more into focus so that it says something. Maybe it's saying, this is how heavy this note is about to be, or this is how big this note is about to be. It says something rather than that, okay? So now with that in mind, we're going to start. Already looks better. I think these could extend out just a bit. Doesn't have to be stiff, but just enough that it's there. Good. All right, let's just play one note for her. Okay, so can you come up and down, and it's what we were talking about with the niche, rather than go up, down, and out, which kind of gets a different sound. Like, you listen. Okay, now maybe for the beginning of Haydn, that's great. You know, maybe we want this broad, but maybe we want something like this. So I think it has to be more centered, okay? So when you come back down, stay here. Don't feel like you've got to go 1, 2. Just 1. 1. 1 is important. 2 is not. Because now it's more centered. So how do we show that little booger? Yeah, there's an accent, right? So we have to prepare it. So how we lift up off of the ictus is important, and how we come back down to it is important, okay? So I think some things are better. Let's see if we can show the accent now. There, oh, ooh. This is even more than this, right? So that has to be more energy than that, believe it or not. One thing I want you to be aware of is there's a little bit of a wind-up in a pitch. So it's just minimizing all this motion and actually eliminating it, and then just using this. Can you just, with me a couple times? Boom, boom, boom. And you notice when you mime with me, right? You're not moving any of this, you're not doing any wind up, and that's exactly what you need to do with them. Just boom, tick, tock, boom, tick, tock, boom. Okay? All right, you get to go on this time. I'm grabbing that line now. I want to encourage you to keep thinking about that beginning. Okay, now let me ask you a question, an introspective question. How much are you leading at 5, and how much are you just with them at 5?
I'm probably just with them.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like I can spot conductors sometimes, and it's okay if you do this every once in a while, but that have rehearsed with a tape of the music, right, or a CD or some kind of recording, and they're just kind of like trying to be with the recording. And I think you're trying to be with them rather than lead. So how far ahead you are of them is probably going to be about that much, whereas in the slower music, it's going to be about that much. But you still have to kind of like, come on, dee, 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 da, 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 dee, 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 da, 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 dee, da. Right? We've still got to lead. We still got to pull them along, rather than I've got to be right with them. Okay? Because they probably, did you feel that way, that she's with us at 5? Did you feel like she was requesting anything or leading in any way? Yeah, so we want you to, ask us to do some things, right? They can probably play this. Let's find out. 5. Now we're in business. That's called self-sufficient. All right? They're rehearsed enough, and they're great musicians. They can play this on their own. Now what are we going to do?
Yeah, that's my question too. I feel like.
They are! Okay, so I got to thinking about this when Joe was conducting. When we're conducting chamber music, it's a little bit different than full ensemble music, because we are dealing with, a partial part of the full ensemble, if you will, or the big ensemble. So chamber music conducting is an interesting animal, because hopefully you're surrounded by 8 to 10 players that are really, really good. So knowing that they're probably, let's say, they're going to play Mozart or something, one of the great serenades that he wrote, or Beethoven, God knows what else. And they're really good, and they're just going along, and they don't necessarily need you for time. Then, what are you going to communicate with them? And we've talked about this a little bit before. Like, what kinds of things are we going to request from them?
Like character.
Oh, yeah! Right? So, let's work on character. Can you play just a bit at 5 for me? And match the character I give you. Yeah, wonderful. They were playing exactly what I showed them, like sad clown and, very sad clown. Play the character. Ready? That's what they want, right? Now, they kind of took off for the races, so that's when I would jump in and go, oh, no, I'm in charge, all right? But they want, because they played this 150,000 times now. So they want your time to be special, right? How's this going to be different? So character, what else can we show?
Dynamic.
Dynamics, right? We can help them through, like, oh, is that the forte that I want? No, a little too much. Back off, just a bit. Or, is that the true piano? Ooh, even less here. Or let's try something here, all right? So I want you, are you a risk taker?
Not really.
I want you to take a risk, okay? And here's the great thing. No one's gonna pass out. No one's going to sue you after class for, abuse of any kind. We're your friends. So everything's going to be fine. Just say that. Everything's going to be fine. That's right! Right? And so point to somewhere where you want to ask them something. Like, would you do this for me?
Here.
Yeah. Right? Let's try this. And where else do you want to make a request? Because we can't request all the time. That's a micromanager.
Here.
Like always in your face.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
A little faster and then moving.
Yeah. Yeah, great. And here, maybe?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Here's 5. She's taking risks. Could you do this for me? Good. Okay. So did you take some risks?
I was trying.
I know you were. All right, I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone a little bit. What's the story of this piece? Not the history of this piece. What's the story? What's going on at 5? What do you see?
What do I see?
Yeah, do you see notes
A
or?
lot of accent for kids.
Nah. What do you see? What's going on? I see this town.
Oh,
Yeah, I see this town.
okay.
Right? Like, let's think, have you seen Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. How about the little town where the hobbits live, right? Why not? I mean, it's a visualization. This is not what I would do, but, you know, it's a universal image that we know. Okay, so there's this little town. You think they're having a party?
Yes.
Yeah, they're having a party. Is it night or is it day?
It's probably daytime.
Oh, okay. I was going to think nighttime. But we can go daytime party. Why not? Okay? And what are they celebrating?
End of the year.
End of the year. Great. Wonderful. Hobbit High School is closing down for the year. Now, so that's the A section. What about B? What's the story at letter B?
It's a more intimate moment.
Oh, maybe we're focused on, maybe what we see in the A sections is everybody,
Yeah.
right? We're standing on a hill and we're watching everybody dance. And maybe, you know, every once in a while we catch a glimpse and we just focus on 2 people. You ever do that when you're watching a crowd?
Yes.
Where you see a crowd and then you focus on somebody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the B section, right? Or maybe it's a little girl dancing, you know? Who knows?
Right.
But this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, maybe it's just me, that goes on in my brain. Like, how can I tell a story? Daniel, unfortunately, had to tell a story to Dr. Thompson once. And she sat right here. That was funny. She said, I'm bored! All right? So we have to tell a story. Okay? So there is a narrative for everything that we do.
Right.
Now, the composer can say, no, I didn't mean there to be a narrative. You know, Stravinsky always said that. But we have to create some kind of energy that's going to make it different for people, not just, oh, here we go, 80th time through the tops. Okay? This is kind of pushing you way out of your comfort zone. 5. I'm going to hold you to your word. And then you've got to stop. Now, intimate. It's back to the party. So what you did before, and we're out of time, but what you did before was fine, but where you showed each one of those notes. Just make sure that after the third one, or actually the second note, that you keep moving so that they can get the odd tempo. Can we just do from 52? Dee da 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 da, dee da 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 da, bum bum dum. Tick, tick, boom. So you don't want to show those?
So am I showing 3 beats?
I would show 3 beats.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
I was trying to just.
I thought you did the first time. story. Aaron, time for your story. I like Potter High School. This is fun, you know? Their varsity jackets were just
That's when you go to YouTube.
cross country. Aaron, you want to go all the way through, section by section?
I can do section by section.
Sure. You want to start from the beginning?
Sure.
Okay.
Aaron, welcome back. Good to see you. I think that they gave you a huge gift at the beginning, if I'm just being honest. What are some recurring things that we've been talking about that we can nail it today?
Yeah, consistent time, getting the right weight.
Getting the right weight. I think that's the key for this one. And that's, I think, the gift that they gave you.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, they know how you play and they know how you are as a musician, so I think they assumed, yeah, this is what he wants. Can you, instead of assuming that they will, just give it to them? So let's set up. Are you going to set up? Right. And we've been talking about this, right? Centering yourself and then getting the energy right here, right? Yeah, but really, yeah, because it's the difference of, right, this, which says, you know, a little bit more passive versus, you know, grounded and active, right? Well, maybe so, yeah, right. I'm going to go back from the middle and see. So you know this as a player, you got to get a really nice breath, right?
Yeah.
And I think by not only setting up here, but then kind of shoving it this way, it wouldn't give, you know, if you were playing it, you'd have to go and kind of spit it out.
Sure.
So give a nice fat breath for him. Yeah. Did that feel better for you? I think so. I think the first one was the best one, and I think the second one could have been more so, and both of them can be even a little bit more broad.
Okay.
Let's do that much. Let's do that much. So, how did you feel about the beginning? We might go back to it, we might not.
Very beginning.
Yeah, those first four again?
I'm still not giving a good second measure. It's not the same.
Yeah. Do you want to give that one a go again?
Sure.
Okay, so what would you like to do differently about it? Because I agree with you, and I can see the wheels turning. How do you want to improve on that?
Yeah, I need to give a clear 2 because I'm sort of half giving 2, half not.
Yeah.
I need to give a clear 2, and I want to sort of crescendo through it, or sustain really well. So I was confused whether I was going to give 2 or not.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
So-
How about this then, just for sake of argument, instead of focusing on the attack of it, how about you give some breadth to it? You know, just, you know, kind of one of these. And it might be the attack you want, it might not. But let's show this, you know, just
Right.
rather
I didn't
than,
want to end out here, so I think I was overdone.
that makes sense. But let's try to get away from, like, kind of this, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, why don't we try? And then let's go ahead and go on. And when we get to the fast section, I'd encourage you, really economical. It looks really hard.
Yeah.
It looks like you're kind of giving it the treatment, so just, you know. Yeah.
Treatment explained.
Yeah, good. Let's take apart some of that again. I think when it was working really well for you, your energy was right here, it was nice and happy. I think when things didn't work out for you, it was something like this. Here's the difference. Like, good? No, not good. Did you feel that in context at all?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah,
Too
right.
big.
And I think that's tied to the beginning issue of how you still want to have that second half note be. So I think it's all getting it right here as much as possible. Just for sake of argument, can we try an experiment? This might completely fail. Let's go from the beginning, and I want you to be Frankenstein, and I want you to take up lots of room, like this. And then when you get to the A section, you can maybe drop this hand and do it all right here.
So just keep the arm straight on that.
Yeah, I want to see what this does to both get it out of you and to see what more facility you can develop here. My favorite part was when you had this lyrical part, and this was moving really well. Let's just for fun see what this does. We'll keep going from the beginning and experiment. I think that feels stable. I think it's in character. I think it seems easy to play. And I know that was just an experiment, but how did you guys feel about that? Anything for him? Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I felt like, especially at the beginning, like the opening, you could still take up more space. And I felt like it was better that time because you had your arm extended, so you sort of had to do more
Yeah.
on that plane. But yeah, vertical planing, you could still.
Yeah. I think as far as the Allegro A section, I think we've got a solution here. If you do exactly what you just did, but bring it into a more appropriate plane, I know it was an experiment, then I think you're golden. And I was loving what you were doing with this legato section even more. I think let's figure out this beginning, because then you'll have a good swath of time that's really, really good. Can we do the first 3 bars only? Don't even do the beginning. And see if you can experiment with whatever you want, but let's get away from the attack of it and get more body to it, and just do something really different and see how it goes. Let's try this. I want you to go across. Bum, bum. Maybe like you're bowing something. Just, we'll go this way. So you'll start here. Bum, bum. Let's see what that does. Yeah. And how was that as far as what you wanted?
I think that's the motion I want, but
Okay.
it's probably not clear where it is.
Excellent. So this is good. So maybe you can give it the attack. Bum. Maybe travel out. See how that goes.
Should be like more there, like.
I think we're just trying experiments, right? We'll eventually decide if it's good or not. But I think to give the attack that you want, you got to have something that, that it hits. But I think if you want to sustain, you got to do something to give it the breath to it. I don't know. We're just trying, right, to get new ways to do this. Okay, maybe though, right? Maybe.
I just forgot to go out.
Yeah. So maybe, right? Maybe not quite what you wanted, but it's something different than this.
Yeah.
So we only have like a minute, so I want to let you do that B section one more time. But I think maybe, go at home, videotape it. That might be good. And then play for your videotape and see how that works. Or sing it to yourself. But I think either way you'll get away from kind of stabbing at it because that doesn't get the direction. It might get the attack, but it doesn't get how you want it to kind of evolve. We've got like one chance at the B section. You want to go at 35?
Sure.
I'll stop you right there for time's sake. Is that how slow you want it to go?
And just because we're shortchanging you on time, we'll give you a little more time on Friday.
Okay.
'Cause you
Okay,
guys-
great, yeah. Was that how slow you wanted it to go? Right, so let's, go ahead and move it along. And I think the secret is, right, leading here with the same kind of economy of motion, because I think engaging your whole arm and back makes it seem kind of lugubrious.
Right.
Yeah, lugubrious, yeah. pick it up from here on Friday. We'll revisit the beginning to see what other solutions you might have, and then we'll dig back into this little section. Thanks, Aaron.
See everybody on Friday.
I know what happened to this.